Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Scion the Tower, or welcome if this is your first time. Thank you all for joining us on this, depending on where you are, super chilly day. It is extremely chilly where I am, but I apparently tend to think that anything below 80 degrees is chilly, so, take
It
that with a grain
is.
of salt.
It
Yeah.
is.
Thank you, thank you. Uh, it's chilly here, but it is chillier in the world of Scion, where our two heroes have been attempting to stem the deluge of divine intervention that's been happening in this one city. So of course, before we begin, it is super important to hear from our heroes because they're the ones really carrying the story. So let us begin with Zach. Please tell us who you are, who you're playing, and any important pertinence you would like to share with the peeps out there.
I am Zachary Naldra, he, him. I woke up to 0 degree weather, which should not be a thing. That is just uncalled for. I am playing Bodhi Lee, she, her, born and reborn scion of Tara of the Paz, who is currently forearm deep in a giant anaconda. I'm sure nothing bad is going to happen.
Everything is fine.
I can be found on uh, the BS site at zachrules.com. That is also my website, zachrules.com. Funny how that works. Blue Sky makes it convenient. I can be found on. You just don't bother looking me on others. So I'm on them, but I'm not really there. I won't be there to see you. So just BS site, maybe Discord, Onyx Pack Discord. Others that I'm not going to talk about right now because you have to be lucky to get into those ones.
Excellent. Thank you much. Was it more? Sorry.
No, that's it. That's all
Oh,
I got.
no. And then Crow, say anything if you would. Tell us who you are, who you're playing, and any pertinence you would like to share.
I am Crow. He, it. I am playing Nolan. He, him. Uh, the god of something. It should be. We can get into that later. Um, this week, if you remember, there's this game called The World Below. It's by Onyx Path. It's amazing. You should go and play it and get it. But also, it's a show that is on Thursdays, every other week, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Um, no, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard time, different show. You should come and watch that because we are currently in season 2, and I get to play a very eldritch elf in a weird, maybe it's a post-apocalypse, maybe it's not a post-apocalypse. I don't know. If you like anime where weird isekai stuff is happening, you should come watch the show. Um, and yeah, that's about it. That's all I got. Also, I'm on the socials as well, but I don't really use the socials, so it doesn't really matter.
Beautiful. So, in the city of Atusa, Baudelaire and Nolan have confronted Viper for what seems to be the last time. With Baudelaire giving Viper all the opportunities to just not be an asshole for maybe 1 minute, and Viper being unable to do so. Baudelaire transformed into her divine form empowered with the power of werewolves, and is currently holding Viper down by his spine and using her remaining 3 hands to just rip into him. While this is happening, Nolan had placed for lack of a better word, relic of Nyx's on Viper, and communicated to Nyx that the relic is at his target. Feel free to do what you need to do. Um, Bodhi Lee. At this point, it is very clear that Viper is not dead, but also has no fight left in him.
Um, yeah, Bodhi has left people with no fight in them before for them to come back and fight and cause shenanigans. Um, so we will make sure the shenanigans ends one way or another,
Mm-hmm.
as Bodies tend to do.
All
With
right.
grave
Uh,
pun intended consequences.
so you spend the next 10 minutes just carving away flesh from this large anaconda. Within that time, the area around you begins to chill. The ambient temperature is about 20 degrees after the 10 minutes have passed. And at that point, Viper is more skeleton than actual anaconda.
All right.
Hmm.
Think we're good here.
I think we are. Huh. That's how you skin a snake. Not as impressive as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I hope you weren't planning on making boots or anything.
Well, I think Nolan, there's this level of indifference in him that is kind of unexpected, even for him. It's not like earlier where, you know, there was a hunt on, he was ready to like set this man ablaze. Now it's just, oof, you hate to see it. Just kind of looks up at Bodhi. Well, are you done playing with it?
I think so. Yeah. All right. Um. So Nix getting in touch with Nix was next on the agenda. Tracking
Uh,
down, tracking down whatever happened to Rachel.
apparently. Um, I think a little bit of A and a little bit of B is what's causing the city to freeze, and also causing a whole pantheon to slowly go missing, and possible internal war there. But to be honest, I don't want to deal with family stuff at this present moment. I'm not feeling so family oriented right about now to deal with their problems.
Uh, so story guide. We got the names of the other ones that were missing out of our friend or out of uh,
Yes.
Nolan's friend. I just, as a we'll pretend it's because I was just that dedicated to doing tech that I didn't write it down. Um, so, but it implied that Ares and Hades were dead, and that there were three other missing. Who were the other three?
So Ares, Hades. Uh, oh my gosh, my memory is failing me today.
If I
Uh,
re-
z- hmm?
if I remember correctly, I know Ares, Hades, dead,
Mm-hmm.
implied. Aphrodite missing, Poseidon also missing.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was one more, but I don't remember.
Zeus.
Zeus, right? Was also potentially missing as well.
Yes. The people paid less attention to Zeus because like Zeus could be missing. Zeus could just be off doing some Zeus shit, and they're like, we really don't know at this point.
Right.
All right. So, well, we can. Do you want to try to track down any of the family, or are you just gonna say, fuck them and focus on Rachel slash Nyx.
Something tells me that I'm going to eventually have to find them anyways because of who is following me around like a like a shadow at this point, who's probably going to be like, "There's a quest involved because your whole thing is family." But like, I'm really not interested in dealing with that. So I'd rather deal with the Rachel part.
All
I'd
right,
rather deal with that first.
all right. So everything's in place for her body to be handled tomorrow.
Yeah. Right.
Um, the ferryman came and took her, so that means that she's somewhere.
Right.
I mean, are there? I know your pantheon has the ferryman. Are there other pantheons that have ferrymen? Could have been a different ferryman that came and got her.
I mean, technically, there's a few. I mean, look at the Loa. They have like three, with one main one who's like one of the crossroads, one of the underworld, one of the stomping ground for like the dead or what have you. I mean, technically, we have the same thing. Hades is technically he's like the lord of the underworld, but he's technically not the god of the dead. It's complicated. So it could be him. It could be five other ones who are involved with this.
All right.
I mean, doesn't your pantheon have someone who deals with the dead?
No, not like a ferryman though.
No.
Like he just like sits down there and he's just like, yeah, no. He's more of a bureaucrat really, cause like we reincarnate.
Right.
So like you die, you go to hell, or what to whenever one of the hells, whatever one is appropriate for you. They have lovely names such as Corpse Swamp and Hot, really hot, and sneezing. Um, you know, so once you're done with that, and you go back, and then yeah, Mirage and his staff decide, what you come back as. But it's more of like an exit guy than an entrance guy.
That's a little bit more complicated than what we deal with, but right. Actually, to be fair, although we're more Greek Roman, we do have alliance with Egypt, Egyptian ones. So like, hell, to be honest, one of them might have called someone up and be like, "Hey, buddy, you want to handle a task for us real quick?" So there's that.
So wait a minute. All right, this might be a weird idea, but you got contact with a family member that is not missing. Besides Nyx, we spoke with her.
You just watch Nolan kind of reach for the phone. He's kind of, I don't know which aspect I'm going to get. So kind of like well, you or your
Mm-hmm.
mother or the same. You know what? I'm not even going to delve into that.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I get what you're pulling at. Yeah.
yeah. There's Hephaestus. Hephaestus? Hephaestus? I really don't know how to pronounce the man's name. Uh, God of the Forge. Like I do talk to him, and I've
Mm-hmm.
been on a few, let's just say, mercenary side jobs for him. Depending on which one, might be willing to answer. Although you could get war vet, or you could just get like crotchety old young man, or you could just get like total pompous genius, but also very wise at the same time one. So it's just depends on the day and the hour and how he's feeling. But most likely he's not been absconded with by Nyx.
Okay. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe if somebody is, you know, maybe because like when you spoke with Persephone, she really had no clue what was going on, right?
No, it didn't sound like it.
Yeah. So if if we can get in touch with someone in the pantheon who like might have a clue about what's going on, or might be like high enough on the totem pole to, that's probably not the right. You don't have no. That's a different pantheon. Um, High enough on the a big enough seat in Olympus. Is that? I think that one works. Yeah, big enough seat in Olympus that they might be, you know, worried about the situation, for if not for
Uh,
care of their family, for themselves.
he might be. I mean, he might be. I mean, it would be weird that his ex-wife is currently missing, so there's that. And technically, a lot of them are like this, so if one is missing without any questions, someone's going to ask questions. I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of us, I've learned, hate each other, but also they don't want like some outsider or even an insider fucking up everything with us.
They actually got split. I thought they were still together, and they she just fucked around. Anyways, um, not relevant to the story.
Right.
Um, Sorry.
It's more complicated, but no, they are definitely divorced, technically. But they're all gods. So like marriage is kind of like a weird thing in our pantheon. Let me just make this phone call. He's
All
gonna
right.
go ahead and call um Hephaestus and see if he gets an answer.
Okay. Rings 10 times. The person you are calling has not set up their answering machine.
Oh, he's dead.
You do know that he is not the biggest fan of the technologies that like are replicated from like humans. Not a big like he has what the divines use for phones.
Right,
He will like answer if you have the ability to like communicate through long distances, but he's very much a in-person deity. And so like there was a chance he would answer, but if you don't answer, it might just be that he's just like these newfangled deities and their magics trying to communicate
right. I gotta make it out.
depending on which aspect is front and center.
And he oh, with that, Nolan's just gonna go, okay. Hold that thought. Let's see who's on down here. All right, it's Alex. Alex,
Yes, boss.
I need you to get in contact with Hephaestus,
I
please.
mean, I'm just a lowly person. I can't speak to the ultimate divines like you can. Maybe if I had something to, entice her to make this long trip, I could be, more motivated.
Uh, if the gods get destroyed by whatever's happening here, you also go with them. You do know that, right?
Yeah, but I have a feeling it means more to you than it does to me. So, what if, and hear me out, don't do that. It'll be great. What if after I meet with Festus and I deliver whatever message, then me and you go out on the town, we party it up, we have a good time, we get in contact with those emotions again? Huh? How about that?
Fine.
See, that's why I like you, boss. You're amenable to good ideas. Now, what would you like me to deliver?
If he could just tell me if any of the other gods are missing or dead, or if some sort of calamity is currently happening in Olympus.
Well, I can definitely do that. I'll be back as soon as possible.
Well, also, if you go in the fridge inside the house, there is a thing of meat in there. Send that as an offering.
Don't go empty-handed. Yeah, I can do that.
And for the love of God, don't spill it or drink it. It's worth a lot of zeros.
When you say don't drink it, you mean don't drink all of it.
I,
Eh?
you know what? Go ahead, have fun, deal with the consequences yourself.
You know what? I like that. Except I'd rather not do the consequences. I'd rather someone else do the consequences, but we can deal with that later.
Sure.
All right, see you, boss. And Alex makes his way back to get the mead before heading out to Hephaestus.
All right, so maybe we got a line there. We'll see.
Right. That's one part of that tackle. Now we have to tackle the. I don't even know how to tackle the other part, to be honest. I just know that rituals need to be happening, so that's about it on that one.
Well, I can. I could probably tap into the obsidian butterfly to try to see if, because she helped us get there last time. See if we can get into to have a chat with the Fairman.
We've only been here for about what, a couple of hours, maybe 24 hours, and already you have decided to drag me into like a family trauma. So there's that.
Well, I wasn't the one who took Rachel. It was the Fairman.
I
It's
these
we contact a different family because to get to the she can probably get us there.
Sure, let's talk to your family. I would love to talk to your family because your family is not my family.
She's not my family either. She's kind of like an aunt by marriage kind of situation.
Great. So that means there's no hang up there. We can go talk to her.
Yeah. Um, we just need to kill something to get in touch with her.
Of course, we got to kill something to get in touch with her. What do we have to kill?
Hunting. We hunt something, or like if we find a dude that's acting up, we can kill him. That'll work. Got a police scanner? Any domestic violence calls? We can take. You know.
He just takes his cell phone and just dials one of the guys. Actually, wait. He's gonna listen for a prayer real quick.
Yeah. At this point, you all are getting sufficient prayers to be able to detect like there is somebody somewhere who is acting up.
Yeah.
And because they're human, we're not even going to roll. You go and find them. Is there any specific way you would like to kill them, to sacrifice them
Smite,
for the obsidian butterfly?
smiting. Just not even thinking about it. Just like pillar of fire and lightning. Just boom.
Well, I mean, she does like knives, so stabbing,
Devin?
Stabbing,
stabbing,
stabbing. Fine.
All right. As you
a
are
little stalking.
like really get that like hunting aspect coming
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's not fun if we just show up to the house and he's there. Like he's got to be like on his way to a bar or something, or you know.
Okay. So you find a man on his way to a bar. And as you make your presence known enough for him to detect you because like would have no chance if you all didn't like actually let yourself be detected,
Yeah.
but not enough for him to actually be able to like identify, oh, there are two divines actively stalking me right now.
Um. Yeah, and when we're close enough, whoever it is that prayed for vengeance against him for his wrongdoings, will invoke their name. Um, as say to say, let him know that why we're here.
Right. And as he's in the process of being stabbed, you invoke the name, and this like realization comes to his mind just as his life essence leaves his body. And as you are finishing up, you feel similarly the way he must have felt with this predatory gaze on you. Although you're very familiar with this gaze, this is, of course, the obsidian butterfly just watching you with like joy and pride in her heart, having done such a tremendous hunt and kill.
It's Papa. How you doing?
Your technique has gotten better, I see. Of
Oh, well, thank you. That's kind of you to notice.
course. But I assume this was not just a random night hunt, although probably should have been. How can I help you?
Oh yeah. So, um, remember the time you brought us down and we went on the ferry down in Hades? Remember that?
Yes, I do remember that.
We kind of need to talk to the ferryman.
But you do remember I wasn't alone then. There was someone else that I needed to get you in that specific underworld.
Oh,
Uh,
so, I mean, he I mean, he's stronger now. Maybe with some of his and some of yours combined, we can get there.
True. And so she looks at you and says, "Are you a god of death by chance?"
to be honest, I don't even know what type of deity I am at this present moment. But I just been put through like an existential crisis in the last 24 minutes. So, sure, let's go with that.
Okay. Like I have no problem killing you, but where you end up, if you're not a god of death, if you can't control that part,
Hmm.
I mean, I kind of am a little bit.
you are, but you're not a god of death for his pantheon. And if you want to meet that riverman, you need to be able to enter. Like I can take you to the underworld any day, just won't be that one.
Well, I mean, so I heard that if you go to the Vale, you can get to other underworlds. So, can you get us to the Vale? That's it. So.
So she'll look at you and you see like she's essentially running the numbers. It's like, no. In order to get to the veil, is getting to the veil is not so much dying as it is this transition into this liminal space. And I guess I could do that, but I'm more so of the like killing, the hunting, the death
Right.
thing. Honestly, if you could find either the god of death of your pantheon or someone in your pantheon of sufficient strength who I don't just absolutely hate, we can make it work.
Not any of that currently. That's why we're here. Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me think. Let me think of something really fast. Okay. What do I need? What do I need? There's something I'm supposed to be remembering. Okay. Because technically he is related, very closely related.
Mhm.
I want to do this. All right. What if instead of if you can take me to the eternal battlefield, I can make my way over.
Well, if it's just you, I can take you there to Hades pretty easy.
That's fine. I don't. Can you? He just turns to Bodhi. Can you even come with me at all? Because I feel like you mentioned something, or you were trying to mention something, but you didn't really get to the meat of it.
I mean, I mean, I'm sure I could find another way there on my own.
Yeah, last time you made your way through death, I didn't see you for a while.
I mean, it was much longer down there than it was the 9 months here. But I mean, because I have a connection with death, I can, as long as I could probably still like get in touch with you down there,
Very easily.
Fine, 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 fine. Well,
and then I can use you to find my way there, and we'll meet up. I'm sure it'll work.
I guess that's the plan.
All right. So, just to be clear, the plan is for the Obsidian Butterfly to kill you. You end
Yeah.
up in Hades.
Yep.
Help Bodhi Lee get there herself.
Yep. Yep.
Is
We're
there,
descending.
would you like, considering every time we die, that is very much a time skip, do you want to like send Rachel off first and then do that, or do you want to do that now?
Yeah, I'll send Rachel off first and then do it later because that just seems like a better order of operations.
Mhm.
That would make our jobs a lot easier.
Okay. Well, tomorrow night is the full moon, or sorry, the new moon. And so the Silver Butterfly will be like, well, all right, I'll be back tomorrow. It'll be fun. It's been a while since I've had the honor of killing a demigod.
Fun. Very fun.
She just kind of turns into a nice obsidian butterfly and flies off.
Thanks. You've been lovely. Great to see you.
Always a pleasure. All right. So, got anything we do before we send Rachel off?
Well, actually, no. Hold on. Send a massive text. Um, got like a major alert. Probably going to be gone for a few months after tomorrow, maybe a year. Uh, everything stays on autonomous mode. Make sure everyone is taken care of. Project Guardian will still commence. Keep working on that. Send.
Right? When you get the thumbs up responses, people are ready to enact Project Guardian in your absence.
Yeah, they're pretty competent, so I don't really. Weirdly enough, they're I run two Colts, but like both of them are very competent, so I don't really have to really worry about them too much.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Oh wait, texting the U.S. government, texting the military. Hey there, please do not wage any wars while I'm gone between a month and a year. I will not be around to back you or any of your allies up. Don't do something stupid. No, I don't approve of that one thing you did. You know which thing I'm talking about. And if you're saying which one, just say yes and don't do it.
You'll get a thumbs up response, but like it took slightly longer than you're probably comfortable with.
Hold on. Just let me make this clear. If it's done, someone will let me know that you did it, and there will be fire emoji, um, praying hands, fire emoji, a tower destroyed, fire emoji, explosion, send.
A much more timely thumbs up response.
Okay, great. There won't be any US backed wars or anything of that nature happening within the next year. So there's going to be a little bit of like a more peaceful thing happening.
Well, that's good.
Don't think too much into it.
I mean, well, I mean, you can tell them you're going to be gone for longer, and just kind of, you know.
Yeah, but you don't want to play that game with them because like a year is the longest. Like anything longer than that, they'll okay, you know the US government. Like you tell them any longer than that and they'll immediately like drop a nuke.
I mean, the country's only been like not at war in some fashion or another for like 16 years. So I guess I'll take another
16
year.
years that you know of.
Yeah, I'm sure that it's the government that are probably up to some shady shenanigans somewhere that I'm not aware of.
Yeah, becoming the demigod of war, you start to learn a lot of things. I've learned a lot of things in the last 6 months, Bodhi. Very dark
Yeah.
things, Bodhi. Don't think too much into it. Okay, we're gonna go and do whatever else that I don't have to talk about any of
All
my emotional
right.
stuff or anything else.
Okay.
What are you
So I'm
gonna do?
assuming this is like where, even though you don't have to, we're like spending the night getting ready for the next day. Uh, where you're sending off Rachel.
And also, I probably did a little bit of. It was mostly him, but I partied up a little bit with Alex.
Oh, Alice isn't back yet.
Oh,
Which is weird because like given the nature of what Alex is, he doesn't actually need to physically travel there. He could have been back in like 2 seconds if he wanted.
I may have to go rescue Alex as well, so this might take a little bit longer than I expected.
Also, because of the nature of what Alex is, you're also like well aware like he takes on this like physical form in order to communicate, but like he's not really a physical entity. So like he's never actually in danger. He's not doing this because like he's in danger. He's doing this to be an asshole, which is kind of his like MO right now.
And then
Wow.
that does make sense for him.
Yep. Well, what do you need, Bodhi, before all of this? This feels like we need to accomplish a you thing first before we deal with that problem.
Oh, so I have no clue what the fuck's going on, and I figure this is part of figuring that out. So we're just seeing how I react to things, and hopefully that'll work. That's the plan at the moment.
Oh, great. By the way, seeing as I won't be the only one who's going to be dealing with a bunch of stuff, you got to deal with a certain thing, a group of things.
Those people.
Well, but you can't refer to them as those people. Those people have been following you for I don't know how long.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the board of Doug Industries. Okay.
No, I've been partially running the board of Doug Industries. That's no, not Doug
Oh,
Industries. You're
are they back yet? I think they were on their way. I was,
well,
they hadn't showed
they
up yet.
should be back now. To be honest, like it's
All right. Well, then let's head over to the temple and I'll have a awkward conversation with them.
okay. before you say our conversation because it's are you gonna break up with him?
No, I'm gonna sternly lecture them and point out that that they were putting things in the wrong place, and to kind of and what they let happen to the temple, and how it, like, you know, re have to kind of see through and readjust priorities. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. Right, right. I'm gonna let you deal with that. I am going to go and actually no, fuck it. I'm gonna follow you because I don't know what to do because I don't have things that I do anymore. So I'm just gonna follow you into that.
All right. We're off to the temple then.
Okay. It's about 9-ish now. And you only have like two people who are living at the temple currently.
Right. There are some folks that are supposed to be here, though.
Oh, like as far as you know, like this temple, like people, like I think it was about 50 or so were living at the temple.
Mm-hmm.
And just because you're not there doesn't mean that people shouldn't be there. They just kind of like left it abandoned. Abandoned, I think, is the most accurate
Yeah.
term.
That is not. I that is very not cash money of my 5 followers that lived there at the temple. So for them to not continue on and
Oh, you
keep
had
going.
5 followers, not
Yeah,
two.
five
My
dots and
bad.
five. Yeah, yeah. The Shaolin monks and nuns are 5 dots worth.
Gotcha. Um, so then 20 people would have stayed. I forgot how many dots you actually had.
Yeah.
20 would have stayed, well, four for each, yeah.
All right. Yeah. So we're gonna have to have a conversation with them about how. Um, I'm sure me lecturing a bunch of followers and NPCs is not going to make for great actual play viewing. Um,
Hmm.
but lecturing them about how that the temple is not a temple to me. It is a temple to Buddha, and through an extension, the entire pantheon, and that they, uh, you know, it is their part of their showing of devotion to keep it going and make sure that it doesn't fall into disrepair, um, and giving lectures on how that is important and ties into showing what they are, the reason that they are there, is, and if that any of them have kind of issues with that, then maybe they need to re-examine themselves and take a trip to one of the other temples that where they don't ever leave the grounds.
And
They join the temple and they stay there until they die or until they leave the faith, whichever comes first.
everyone is super remorseful. A lot of apology for misunderstanding the responsibilities, as many of them thought the temple was to you, and with you there, they went in search of you rather than maintaining the temple. But promises that this mistake will not happen again in the future.
And then he will or she will go through and pick a someone to lead the to show that they have the ability to keep things going in this temple when she's not there. Um, so she's essentially giving out homework assignments.
Okay.
She's starting by um, 20 followers there.
Mhm.
So each one is going to lead in at night as part of as a like a prayer to lead the mantra of we're gonna go with a different Tara every night,
Okay.
and when they're done, they will all in unison do the mantra of Blue Tara, and then they'll move on to the next deity and so on and so on.
Right.
To remind them that it is more than Bodhi that they are here for.
So they have begun their training anew, broadening their understanding that they are not necessarily worshiping Bodhi Lee, but enacting this in order to better all peoples.
Yep.
Right. Nolan, were you there this whole time?
Yep. Weirdly enough, kind of probably behind like that crowd listening to her, probably doing paperwork on his phone because he does not have any social life or fun things to do, just work.
Interesting. Okay. So we'll say this process takes a couple of hours of just like gathering everybody and the talking and then the retraining and then like reassigning these things. Be like, this is going to be your responsibilities until we can all work together. About 3 a.m., you both receive information, but you receive information at using different channels. Um, Nolan, you start getting messages from people who work for you, uh, from like local news outlets that the dock has been closed due to a natural disaster, although natural would be in quotation marks, and that there are riots beginning to occur all through Atusa. Bodhi,
Mm-hmm.
as a demigod of some legendary renown, you are getting more and more prayers. And the prayers tend to fall under your purview. They never really are the same prayer, but they fall under things that you can handle because that's how the prayers work. However, you have gotten in the past like hour about 6 people from around the world, not just Atusa, saying they are afraid of the monster.
Just the monster.
The monsters, people are specifically referring some sort of monstrous entity, um, that they want to overcome their fear of. Some will be like, I want to like engage with it and stop it. Some are like, I want to be able to engage with my life, but this fear is crippling me from like being able to do these. But there does seem to be some sort of monstrous entity or entities that is causing this distinct verbiage to be used, or this distinct feeling to be used in the prayers to you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there one in Atusa?
A monster? Probably.
Is
Um,
there's no prayer to remove the monster
no.
coming from Atusa? Lovely.
Nolan's probably stood up by now, looked at his phone, let out a sigh, pushed the panic button on his phone. It's probably connected to everyone. It's kind of
Mm,
like an intercom.
yep.
Instead of like a phone, it's like an intercom to everyone. rioting happening in Atusa in major areas, specifically at the dock. All right, someone tell me what is happening at the dock. Give me all the details.
Uh, Rather than saying you get a text message of an image, there is a what appears to be like ice wings that are somewhere between like 60 and 80 feet tall, uh, 50 to 60 feet wide, just like exploded out of the dock of Atusa.
Miss Lee, we have a situation back at the dock.
Why is everything in this damn city revolving around the docks?
We gotta tear down that dock at this point, like, or turn into something else. I don't know. It's you know what, the H.P. Lovecraft thing. It was okay one time, but like this is happening frequently to the point where it's becoming a problem.
Yeah. All right. So let's roll out and see what we can do to take care of this.
Uh, Already heading out the door. There's probably a car waiting for him as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
How many casualties? Guys, just getting in the car.
Uh, 24 so far. We don't know how many casualties from the ice wings, but there are 24 people who were casualties of fire.
Fire?
Apparently, uh, the Atusan people got sick and tired of it being so cold. And then with this giant ice wing thing, there's a belief that there is a ice titan that is attacking Atusa, and so they have started to light buildings on fire to fight back.
Okay. Get in touch with the fire department. Have them on guard. Also use some of our guys. Five of them. They know what to do when it comes to like emergency fires like that, especially magical fires. Um, oh, great, great, great. Of course. All right. This is what I need you to do. Call the kid. Tell him to handle the whole making sure people are evacuated sort of deal. But let him go be a hero. Make sure five people are on him, making sure that he's okay while that's going on. We'll deal with the ice wing problem.
How many dots does the kid have? Two? Three?
Uh, how many does Chris have? I don't know. I just know he's
Okay.
fate bound.
We'll get back to that one then.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? All of you go with Chris. All of you, full set. You guys handle the right part. We'll handle ice wings, apparently. One thing, all the steam rooms, all the bath, open them all up, have the steam pouring out. The stuff that I use to go like make holy water, have that stuff steam all over the place. You can turn the boiler up. You know what? You can run the power up.
Okay.
It should help with some of that problem.
Okay. They know what they need to do. They're on their way. Bodhi, are you preparing anything before you head out to the docks?
We're gonna get in touch with Silas and see what's going on with on the TikToks and then Instagram and
So sounds
see
like
what see what people are saying and what stories um, can be squashed or need to be squashed.
so Sash responds and says, people are incredibly angry right now. Um, they believe that a Titan by the name of Jack Frost has come to take vengeance on Atusa. That would explain the like super cold, the like massive like ice sculptures that appeared here. The anger is just like burning over.
Um, if the problem is with the ice sculptures, why are they starting fires? Like, if you're going to be specifically disobedient about ice sculptures, why don't you take it on the ice sculptures? You know, my cousin, when she was in college, she had a. There was. It snowed, and somebody made a snow pig. Um, and there were kids partying, and when the cops showed up, someone put on body count, and it inspired all the college students to go beat up a snowman. It didn't cause them to burn down a building. Snow pig. You can guess what song from Body Count it was. You're a college kid now, so you're probably a little young for that. So, anyways, yeah, um, it's the one that they took off this CD, Cop Killer, that you can only hear at concerts, their concerts now. But yeah, what, like, can you focus them into something other than burning buildings?
I can try, but like I'm better at like people who want to be influenced, not riots that have gotten out of control.
Okay, but so yeah, the riots are happening, but like other people are watching the riots and like taking action. So maybe you influence the people who would be go out and start lighting fires like it's the Crow on Devil's Night. And instead of that, you send them towards destroying an ice sculpture, which is probably less dangerous for most people.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. He did okay. Well, not great, but so he's going to start a social media campaign to try to reach whoever is like willing to listen. Um,
I mean, like rioters are not on their phone looking at Instagram to see what's going on.
yeah,
The target is the people on Instagram seeing the rioters and distracting the ones that would go or redirecting the ones that would go out and
and keeping them from joining.
yeah.
And he's able to reach a few. Because of like the emergency nature of it, he's there's no like ability to plan, no crossovers with other influencers, but he's still, he's got a big enough following and enough experience where he can like reach some people to, like this is not setting fire to your neighbor's house is not going to make it warmer. It's just going to mean your neighbor doesn't have a house anymore.
Yeah. I mean, at least, the CEOs are the ones making money off the cold air and the higher electric bills and heating bills. I didn't say that out loud. He says that out loud that um, if you're at least going to burn people's houses, rich people's houses burn longer. They have more stuff.
They got more stuff to burn.
Yeah, and the CEOs have money to rebuild and insurance, and it'll work out. Sure. Yeah.
So as you're communicating to Silas, you all make it exactly to this spot you were last night, where you see the massive ice wings that have formed from Viper's body.
There's just wings here.
Yeah, like an ice wing sculpture for like, yeah.
Is that the work of our friend?
Looks like it.
Does that little? Where's the little moon medallion that she gave him?
Somewhere in the like 50-foot thing.
Gonna Bodhi's gonna try to start working on bringing um, the body of Viper and getting it up onto the boat. I'm assuming the ice sculpture goes with it, so we're looking at like a barge type boat, maybe.
So like picking up the entire ice sculpture with Viper, putting it on a barge, and then
Uh huh.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it'll take a little while. Like any boat that was like anywhere near this thing has been wrecked, but like you could get a boat from somewhere else, bring it in. That's super simple to do.
Yeah. We're gonna bring and Bodhi's gonna bring Viper's body out to whatever is left of Doug's Island.
Okay. We will say if you are relying on a boat, that'll take like an hour for the boat to like come in, and then like it's like a 30-minute trip. So yeah, you could do that in like 2 hours, no problem.
Yep. Yeah, we can. Yeah, we'll just get rid of this.
I mean, it was at least it'll put it away from the docks and cause less harm.
Hmm.
Yeah. I was expecting something more hard, you know?
I mean, do we want to take the pendant off the corpse?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna look for it.
For you to do that, because this is ice from Nyx, it is not like it is some like deep dark space ice where like you would be able to burn it, but it would take hours upon hours to like melt it.
Right.
Doesn't your thing have a fire attachment on it?
Yeah, but it's my fire versus her void of heat. So this isn't really ice. This is more like permafrost, but like permafrost that came from like a black hole that came from like the void that came from like nothingness.
How strong is the ice actually? Like, none of it like chipped away or broken when the the corpse was picked up and carried and
Nope.
put on the barge and um, dropped on the island. Okay.
But because you worked so closely, yeah, works with it, you get a feeling that like this is not ice that is being sustained by Nyx. This is ice that was created by Nyx. And so it is likely more akin to like diamond in density or strength. Um, but it is like solid state of water, just solid state of water that is incredibly hard. And so with anyone who has the purview of fire, they could make their way through it. It would just take a ridiculous amount of time. And so it might just be, like casting a marvel to put like a little mini sun next to it and then come back in a month or so. But it is just like, you know, ice that you would find on some random planet in space rather than
Uh,
ice from here.
but if that's the case, Nolan is kind of like drawing a few uh, runes in Latin around the statue.
Hmm.
Of course, the one thing I learned from Aries would work for this situation right here. And he is going to summon the Flames of War.
Interesting. All right. Uh, so you will probably need so you'll imbue a legend, and you'll have to imbue that legend for about a month for all the ice to melt.
Huh. Hmm. that might be a little bit impossible due to the situation that we also have to deal with later on. So, back to the family situation thing I go. And he takes out his cell phone. If there's one problem, of course, it's going to be a family thing that I have to go talk to another family member to go to talk to another family member to talk to another family. Right. Okay. 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 Wait. I don't know if this is true or not, but there is one additional person that we can possibly, maybe, sort of, partially help with this situation.
Okay.
I don't know if he even actually exists or not.
All right. Who?
I'm gonna call Persephone.
All right.
Yeah, gosh, I am so lucky. I didn't think you'd be calling this soon. How are you doing today?
Doing well. Okay. A little bit of emergency, but don't worry, or maybe worry. We'll get to the other part
Can,
later.
can I help? What's going on? Are you okay?
Possibly. Yeah, well, right now, yes. One, I will probably be visiting a lot sooner than I thought I would be.
That's great.
Um, Probably gonna need some assistance of getting there directly because it sounds like this trip is going to be bouncing around to get there, but I will definitely get there.
Oh, well, yeah, sure. Well, let me, I'll check, make sure everything's, up to snuff. So a nice, easy trip for you.
Great. Second thing, I don't know if this is true or not, but uh, Erebus, does he actually exist? And how do I get in contact with him if he does?
Yes, she's been like very bubbly whenever you've
Yeah.
spoken to her. All of a sudden, the bubbliness doesn't go away, but it's highly subdued. Why do you want to talk to Erebus?
Hold on for a second. And instead of saying it out loud, he just sends a quick text basically explaining most of the situation, including that her husband might be missing, and that's also partially the reason why he's coming to go see her. And also fixing up a possible fuck up.
Hmm. Nolan, let me call you back in a few
Great.
minutes.
Okay. Can't wait to see you. It's lovely always talking to you. I will make sure to try to bring gifts when I see you.
Please do. It'll be so fun. And she hangs up.
Yep. Bodhi, I want to explain something. When you deal with your family stuff, I feel like you guys are all this, love, peace, maybe some sternness. I don't get that. All I get is like BET family drama that was written by Tyler Perry, edited by Tyler Perry, but also Martin Scorsese was like, you know what? Let me add some stuff to this. And then Michael Bay was just like, it needs more explosions. That is basically what I get from this family.
Oh, okay. That
Also,
that is a very good description and paints a very vivid and easily recognizable picture. Yeah, that does not sound like a good time. Condolences.
yeah. But like also it's like the best episode of like Succession.
That's where you lost me. I haven't seen that.
Oh well, okay. Well, that yeah. I
That
don't
that's after my kind of awakening in moving away from uh, physical things.
you know, it confuses me what it is physical for you and what isn't physical for you.
Well, I don't have a TV, so that's the physical part of it, and I can't watch it. So it's like stuff that So like the older references from back before when I had a TV make sense, but Succession, no, I can't watch it. I have nowhere to watch it, so it doesn't happen.
Huh.
See, music's kind of easier because it's like you hear people listening to it on the bus, so that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But the gist is, I don't actually know how to deal with any of this, and this is the first time I've actually felt this thing in months. So this is kind of weird for me, to be honest.
I'm not a therapist, and this is probably not a time for therapy to discuss why. When things are going like shit and there's trauma and there's just massive chaos going on, that's when you're able to feel like when things are calm and somewhat peaceful. It seems like you have this like blah, you know.
I don't see it.
All right, well, yeah. Anyways, so we're not getting the pendant back anytime soon.
Probably not.
Okay. It's over here, so it can't like even if it like grows another, a tail or the 4 more ice wings, it'll still be out of like the direct sight, and it's where maybe this will people will calm down and riot less. Maybe I don't know. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
What?
I assume we've had this conversation while on the boats. We're back at the docks and
Yeah,
the other side.
and
Yeah.
by this time, would have said like it's somewhere between 5 and 6 a.m.
All right. Yeah.
You have an entire day ahead of you before uh, the night comes and you can send off Rachel. Considering what time it is, and it's a little bit earlier than we usually do it, but like let's take a little break. Water up, do what we have to do, and then be back in about 10 or so minutes. Until then, see y'all. Hey peeps, welcome back. Uh Bodhi Lee and Nolan having at least addressed the massive Nyx statue that emerged from that moon pendant are now in the process of dealing with the riots, although Bodhi Lee has mostly done her due diligence in getting her peeps on it to kind of like at the very least contain the throng of people going out and just setting buildings on fire. And then they are going to be finishing up the preparations for Rachel's pyre funeral to send her body off. Uh, you hear from Silas that the vast majority, or the initial riot, has very much died down. Although there still is an element of, or this like kind of belief flowing through people of this anger that is causing fires, but it's nowhere near as in your face as it was at like 3 a.m.
All right.
What will you all do for the remainder of the day before Rachel's funeral?
Bodhi,
I'm
what are you gonna do?
assuming. Hmm?
Bodhi, what are you gonna do?
Um, so the prayers that are out there from Atusa, how many people are praying in anger?
That you would be receiving?
Right.
Based on what I remember of your titles, not many. Actually, no.
Uh,
Um, you can sense anger in the vast majority of the prayers.
how many people can I just visit?
It very much depends on how what you mean by visit. Like, because you're a demigod, I'm assuming there are ways where you could just have your presence be felt by like everybody by like spreading a legend and doing something. Or there is like the I want to like walk into someone's house and sit down and break bread with them. If that's the case, and Rachel's funeral is at like 6 p.m. or something, you might be able to visit like three or four.
Okay. Um, so yeah, we're gonna spend a legend um, to kind of amplify out his or her lover calling,
Hmm.
um, and essentially have soothing presence and tap into the title of who battles the eight great fears, as fire and anger is fear number five, um, to spread out soothing presence throughout the city, um, to essentially calm people the fuck down and reduce the attitude.
Okay.
Um, after that's done, then she will go in and visit some of the people whose anger definitely feels out of character.
Okay. That is easily done. And just for my own edification, Nolan, are you coming with or are you doing your own thing?
I'm coming with.
Okay. Um, so the first person you visit is a elementary school teacher um by the name of Janine. She is usually like very calm, um, very empathetic, and which is what like drew her to elementary school, but there is just this rage that because of the soothing presence has been like suppressed, but like there is just some anger there.
Yeah. Is she in class? Is she at home? What's she doing?
She's at home. It's still fairly early by the time
Yeah.
you
Oh, okay. Yeah. We'll knock on the door and
she opens up and she sees one uh blue-skinned woman. Do you have any other not Marvels? But you yeah, you have the blue skin. Eye colors are the same.
yeah, yeah, blue eyes.
Blue eyes.
At this time when omens start popping off, other things start happening. But
Gotcha.
right now, she's just fairly normal. She's um, but before the transformation, she
Hmm.
was athletic runner's build, so she's got that kind of same kind
Right.
of athletic runner's build that she had before. Um, she's just blue for the most part.
Oh, and Nolan with his glowing green tattoos.
For the most part, um, that's mostly in business wear, so a lot of it's covered up,
Hmm.
uh, including like uh, the flames are down enough where he has like a hat on, sunglasses on. Everything is covered to the
Okay.
point where he just looks regular.
Okay. So like Janine probably wouldn't be able to tell you are divine, but it's very clear that Bodhi Lee is divine, and so she's excited, like, oh my gosh, hi, can I get you
Yeah.
coffee? I'm sorry, all I have
No,
is
no, yeah.
decaf, but y
I brought, and she's got a bag of Dunkin' and bagels, iced coffee.
oh, thank you. She
Can
takes it.
we
Please
can
come
we come in?
in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Have a seat, and she like
yeah.
takes you to the couch.
Yeah, sits down and we'll motion for Janine to sit down as well.
Hmm.
So how you doing today, Janine?
I'm good. I'm great. Today we're talking about some vocab words, and I love a good vocab word. How are you doing? What can I do for you?
So, I can kind of sense certain things, right?
I did not.
Yeah. So again, I'm gonna ask. So what's going on? How you doing?
To be honest, I'm a little miffed, perturbed, might be a little perturbed. It's been so hard living in Atusa this past few years. It's only gotten harder in the last year, and whenever something happens, they're like, "Oh, it's a Titan's fault," but like no one's doing anything with the Titans, and it's getting more and more dangerous. I just wish someone would stop these Titans from attacking us so we could live peaceful lives.
One of the unfortunate things about Titans is they're good at hiding, and until they pop up, um, and start rampaging down Main Street, that those ones are easy to deal with. We can go and stomp them and send them back to whatever underworld they belong in. It's the ones that are hidden, are the ones that aren't actually there. It's easy to put everything on a Titan. You're mad at traffic is bad. People start blaming that on the Titans, which 99% of the time is not their doing. Um,
I'm sorry, I wasn't blaming you. I know you're
no, no,
doing
no,
everything you can. I just, it's scary.
no. Yeah, man. And that's completely understandable. And I know that feeling that like you get that. Why aren't the gods doing more to make the world a better place for us? Uh, I've been there. I've been through those times before. In my life, in my past life, in my current life, and it's probably going to be a thought that I have in my head in the future life. It's something that we all go through, and I want you to know that it is unfortunate. Um, Sometimes in life, though, if it wasn't, you know, the joy wouldn't feel so good if it wasn't there weren't the struggles to overcome it.
I see what you're saying.
Um,
And it's not that I don't think the gods are doing enough. I don't like Titans. Like that ice thing at the dock, like that was a Titan's doing. And I guess I'm just like I'm feeling my feelings today and just, I wish Titans didn't torment us. Not that like, you know, everything they do is wrong or the gods aren't helping us. I'm just feeling this Titan
no, yeah,
frustration today.
yeah. We all get to those points, when we just need to let it out and to get that across. So, what can we kind of do to kind of get you over that hump?
Oh, I'm fine. I think I need to maybe take some time off, you know, take a personal day. I've never taken one of those yet, so I just kind of like reduce my stress so that I can be there for my students.
Yeah, no, I got you. I got you. What are some things that you enjoy?
Working,
Well,
um,
what's
bonding with my coworkers.
what are things that you enjoy that you do to relieve stress? To get, not outside of work.
Taking naps so I can be better at work.
What hobbies do you have?
And I can't say work.
You cannot say work.
Childcare?
You're a teacher. I'm gonna include that in with work. Um,
Studying? That's not work.
you're studying what?
Can I pass?
Okay, so how much time do you have before school starts?
Like 7. Like, ooh, like 45 minutes.
Okay, so I'm going to. We're gonna sit. We're gonna meditate. We're gonna do some yoga, something to get you in a space where you can disassociate from everything else that's going on, and just kind of have a chance to think and reflect on things. Do a quick, uh, you know, um, and then we'll get you to work, and then we'll see how that goes.
Huh?
And then
Oh,
maybe you can start picking up finding some other things, that are not work related to occupy some of your free time. Something
well,
to look forward to that isn't your job.
well, We'll see. Let's try the meditation first.
All right.
I will roll for Janine. Um,
All right. I am since as this is being a led session.
it is.
So that can I do we'll say leadership and presence role to
Yes.
aid her in her practice.
No, no, you're a demigod. You don't need to roll.
Okay.
As you're leading it, and she is very much like involved, while she would normally just not be able to like focus at all, you're able to calm her down, um, and like lead her through this process to the point where she does seem to begin to like release some of this anger and rage that has like built up in her.
Okay.
She gets up, she's like, "Wow, thank you."
Yeah. Don't kind of take that energy, that refocused sense that you have right now, and put that out into the world when you go out and interact with others today.
I definitely will. Thank you so much. By the way, how many fate binds do you have?
I have three.
Good. You have four now.
All right. And what type of fate binding is Janine?
It makes the most sense to be a is it here, leader, a worshiper. Yeah, yeah. Walks to her house. You gave her some donuts, and you helped her release some like stress while just being divine. Yeah,
One dot.
yeah. One dot worshiper, and so that is Janine.
Thank you for coming back, legend. All right. All right. We have other people on the list.
Yes. You have another three, but everyone, no matter like where they're coming from, it is this like fixation on Titan energy, Titan, this like hatred of Titans, which technically makes a lot of sense. I mean, very few people like the idea of Titans, but the hyperfixation on Titans that has like led to this seems out of character.
Okay. Um, is there anything going on with the socials or in the news that might be fueling this?
Um, The only thing that you would see easily have easy access to is one, of course, the giant wings and like the rest of the things that would happen in Atusa, like that's all been blamed on Titans. Um, two, there is an uptick in Titan sightings around the world. Like hashtag find those Titans are trending. Like there are more Titans being seen, although in Atusa there has not been an actual Titan, just like evidence of Titans.
Okay. So we know that the wings are not necessarily Titan.
I mean, depending on
Because
how you talk about Nyx.
because Nyx is, from my understanding, is a primordial, is
Yes.
beyond God and Titan.
But
So
humans
don't
tend to,
understand the
yeah.
difference. Okay. Um, so there's not actually evidence of a Titan
Essentially, there is
in the
evidence
eyes
of
of
divine stuff happening that inconveniences people, and they're like those
and
blasted titans.
okay, all right. Just making sure there's not a Titan that we have to go hunt down because
That's right. It's like I need to be
Just make
sure.
sure. All right. So yeah. Nolan, you got anything on the agenda for today, or
In the essence of being honest, personally, I'll show you at Duck Towers.
What was that? I kind of misheard. I misheard you.
Um, he's just not actually looking at Bodhi, just going, in the essence of being honest, I'll show you at Duck Towers.
okay? So let's hit up Doug Towers.
Um, it shouldn't be too much of a trip to get there. Um, get in the car. It's a ride. Uh, he makes sure to send the front desk not to ask any questions or tell anyone that he's arrived in there or who he's brought with him. Like that's need to know basis. Uh, walks inside, makes sure the door opens for Bodhi,
Yeah.
and makes a beeline for the elevator. Um, as he does a thing where he kind of uh, the usual flame tattoos. A set aren't really flame; they're more like chromatic. They glow, but they're more like chromatic barcode
Hmm.
that he puts against the elevator panel, and instead of it going up, it goes down.
Oh, that's a neat trick.
Yeah, literally had it made it myself and installed it in my skin. So
Huh.
for security purposes. All right. So for the past 6 months, I've been working on stuff, doing stuff in the combination of different things. One of which is Project Guardian. So you know how some of our more some of our followers have two problems. One, they're either way too attached to us that they are completely helpless about handling any situation,
Mm-hmm.
or two, we have a lot of capable followers, but they don't have the facilities to actually do anything about their situation currently, right?
Right.
Well, what if we were able to imbue, enchant, enhance said follower, but not turn them into something like us, but more something that they can actually manage as people?
Did you make Captain America?
No. Um, and actually, I had a conversation with the U.S. government. Apparently, they have actually worked on something like that. It went disasterless. It was a disaster.
Okay.
Although they discovered a Titan through it. So, like, you know what? That's just we're not even going to get into that. That's their fuck up. But something a little bit more different, something a little bit more controllable and manageable.
Okay.
So, the kids were talking about this one show, uh, the one with the writer and they have the belt and they split the thing in, and apparently one of the kid wanted to be a common writer, mass writer. I don't know, but I was like, I like the concept. Also, those kids are really into like foreign cartoons, foreign media. It's very alarming.
Yeah. There's so many of the Instagram and the TikToks that I just don't get.
Yeah,
Cause
yeah. So what I did was combine that little ideal that little Rex had, and also Lex. I
mm-hmm.
had to teach him not to do rider kick off of Mrs. Peters off of her um her bookcase because like that was becoming a problem.
Uh huh.
But anyways, Project Guardian, right? So, and the door opens up. You see a bunch of people in lab coats, and you see that they're working on like a device that kind of looks like a cell phone and something that looks like an armband. So that is Project Guardian. It's like giving our followers superpowers, but also in armored form.
So like Iron Man,
A little less armored, but yes, technically.
Batman.
Um, hmm. more Power Ranger, if anything. Although we can't say Power Ranger because that's trademark.
Okay. So I guess Voltron's out too then. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Hmm. But see, so all right. So how's the project going?
Well, one hand, good news. It is going through currently an alpha and beta process. Here's the nitty gritty of that. Apparently, some other gods have been sniffing around to try to get information on it. Well, one being Viper.
Okay. Do we know what other gods like?
Not yet, but if I know there's still gods around sniffing around trying to get any edge on anything, who knows? But that's not the important part.
All right. So that's the important part.
We've been testing it involving Titanic entities.
Okay. And what have we found?
It works. Um, it's what typically is the one portion that we're still trying to get into. It requires parts from Titans for it to fully function.
Are we talking like full on Titans or like their kids?
Yes.
I mean, because if their kids count, there's this one the kid of the triplets that I would love to just bring in.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's part of the it's part of the more merc work that I've been doing for other pantheons and other gods
All
has
right.
been involving that.
Okay.
So one hand, I take a bunch of titans off of their hands or titanic problems. I get to build this thing up, and I don't have to think about killing my friend for the last 6 months. So like, it's just been a great project.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you think you're going to be away for a while, and you're telling me this so that I know what's going on and I can step in your place, or like what's the plan here?
Partially that. Kind of said that you would be the perfect first demigod to test the control system when you got back.
Okay. So I get to be the test dummy.
Well, technically, whoever you choose get to be test dummy. You're basically like a sponsor, and he kind of wait. Can someone give me a control phone?
All right. Ends up in your hand within the next 5 seconds.
Nice. Okay. It almost looks like a video game panel, like he's showing you everything. Right.
Uh huh.
So basically, you give them the powers, you help them train them and everything else. So you control one part of the system, and then they do most of the work getting acclimated. We kind of had to gamify a few things because apparently everyone understands video games, but they don't understand like actual command systems and military, like the actual control panel stuff. So it's so easy a 6-year-old can like use it. That's basically how we've done it, dumb it down.
All right. So he's going to spend the next couple of minutes trying to take an idea of how this thing works and how to use it with, and so forth and so on.
Mhm.
And then who does this get matched with?
Know your followers. You would probably be the one. You would be the one to like have whatever follower you have use the thing.
Okay.
Preferably someone who's not completely a complete monster, someone who would decide to use the powers for like total evil.
All right. So I'm going to get someone to use this,
Mm-hmm.
and then go and uh, do some shenanigans,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully take out a child of a titan.
Sort of. That's the plan. Uh, uh, Basically getting to the point where they don't completely need us all the time, but like we are still involved in their lives.
Okay.
Imagine this. Imagine your new teacher friend decides that you know what, I got to protect the students. She goes, takes the phone, clicks it into the device. Boom. She's armored Bodhi something. I don't know. We haven't worked on the names yet, but like you know, they find your name essentially.
All right.
So give
So
and
they
take.
okay. So they use kind of like my powers to fight, and all right.
One small, fine print detail.
Uh huh.
They are essentially giving their soul up to you to be able to use said powers. That's kind of like the fine bold print.
So they're giving up their soul in
Mm-hmm.
the exchange for power.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh huh. Sounds kind of Faustian, doesn't it? When I say it that way.
Yep. Uh, I kind of learned through a cult study that what we do is technically Faustian. There is no way around it. Like it's a give and take sort of situation that we just been giving, and technically we're supposed to have been taking this whole time, and we haven't really been doing the taking.
Okay.
I learned that from Doug's notes. I'm still learning stuff from Doug even while he's not here.
Hmm. All right. give me a little while to think it over and plan out some things, and we'll find someone to work this on.
Eight. Uh, Pressure, but the way things going, we're gonna have to figure that out very, very fast, very soon.
Yeah. All right. Got anything else for me that I should you know, be aware of at this
I
point?
got a trail. I've got a trail of bodies these last 6 months, so that's pretty important. But other than that, no.
All right. So yeah, we'll how much time we got? Sorry, guard before.
It's probably close to like 4 or 5 right now.
So we probably don't have time for another visit for someone. I'm guessing.
Probably not, yeah.
Oh. All right. Well, let's head off to the funeral, and then we can see what we can do from there.
Right? If I remember correctly, you wanted to be a nice funeral pyre, is what you mentioned.
Yep. Nice funeral prior, mostly in that weird conservatory where it's dark. It's mostly about
Yes.
space and the moon being overhead.
Mm-hmm. And everything has been set up to your specifications. As the pyre goes, even though there is no moon tonight, there still seems to be like moonlight shining on her as the fire engulfs and takes her corporeal form away.
Um, he's adding, probably adding a legend just to help with the lover's boon, just to bring some peace back, like a peace offering between Atusa themselves and Nyx.
Okay. As you're there, like kind of imbuing this, you hear a nice slow clap behind you.
What's
Alex.
this? One job.
I delivered your message. I just didn't want to interrupt during a funeral, but it was so beautiful what's happening here. I just was moved.
Okay, what's the catch? What is it?
Nothing, nothing. I met, uh broke bread, or technically broke mead. We chatted, learned some very useful things. Useful things.
Are you going to tell us, or
I mean, if I have to, I thought my job was to deliver the message, not return message. But fine, fine, fine. So he did not know gods were going missing, although he had a clue when a certain someone walked back into his door and asked to hide out for a bit.
oh, that's mean. That's rude and mean.
Apparently, they're cordial, or as cordial as things can be, consider how things blew up before. But yeah, so he had inklings that something was going on.
Huh.
This
So
is Aphrodite.
Aphrodite is hanging out.
Isn't she one that? I thought she was one of the ones that was supposed to be missing. So when you say said she was missing, she was with.
When I say missing, I mean that no one else knows where she is, and she is no longer upholding her divine, not rights, divine responsibilities up. Because once you're doing the divine responsibilities, then people can, or The particular device can easily find you. She has all but abandoned those in order to stay hidden,
with her ex.
which few people would think that she would go to.
Sinister, but I applaud it. It is crafty. That is for sure.
Does that
Siege,
mean
I
she's
have
does that mean she's not your stepmom anymore?
Probably. Was she ever my stepmom? Let's table it.
All
Table
right.
it.
Okay.
So, did she reveal anything while you were there? Of
no.
course not. Let me guess. All right. I'm starting to get the picture. A group in the Pantheon, the top brass, decided to go ahead and was like, ah, we have a new primordial problem. They didn't want to deal with said primordial problem, so they made primordial problem disappear. However, they didn't realize, oh, we would end up pissing off a primordial if we did said thing. And they thought they hit it until it was revealed. Mm, right. I think I know who might have kickstarted that apocalypse. So their fuck up happened because it was revealed by someone else who was sick of their fuck up, and the two had a mutual feeling of I'm sick of their fuck up, I'm sick of their fuck up, and the other one's just like, well, I'm gonna do something about it.
Seems to be accurate.
Right. I can't blame her, but at the same time, that poses a problem for everyone else.
Well, now that I don't have to pretend to care anymore, so when are we going to go party? Because this was
Probably,
your end of the deal. Uh-huh. That was what you said you were going to do.
probably within a month or a year.
Uh, excuse you?
A month or a year. Between a
When
month and a year.
just a point of order. Did you actually say where the party was going to be?
No.
Okay, so I mean, you could still do that. Where you're going, you can go with you and you can party down there.
Going to the underworld then, buddy.
Oh, I love partying in Hades. It's so fun. Yeah, I'm down.
Great, because we are also going to go and try to meet Erebus.
Okay, I just gotta like process. What would Alex think about this? Yeah, no, Alex is not human. Yeah, okay, I'm down. That sounds super fun. That's a great party in itself.
Great, because the fact that you have not run off from this means this is perfectly okay.
Yep.
You know, if you take off, I'm using your true name like immediately on site.
I would never take off while you still have the ability to speak.
You gotta give credit for that
That is,
technicality.
yeah, that is diabolical.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, listen, all right, we deal with this divine problem. I will deal with the other thing that you were talking about earlier, okay?
Okay.
Great. All right. This is when I'm expecting like one of your family members to just like pop up behind us and be like, I'm here.
Uh, she has not made an appearance.
Hmm.
You're just gonna like wait around until like the appointed time.
Yeah. Because That's a little scary. Usually that just kind of pops up and not just wait.
Okay. But then you wait in the observatory that is overflowing with this like lover's energy, also this moon energy, this darkness energy, and about the witching hour, we'll say, you do feel a presence behind you.
Just me.
Are you ready?
I mean, is anyone? Yeah.
This is what I'm going to have you do. I'm going to have you roll a stamina, and then what skill? Mm-hmm. A stamina integrity roll. Um, for one reason, the obsidian butterfly could just like kill you nice and easy and, like send you on. But the gods and goddesses are not necessarily like gods of their domain where they're gods or gods of their purviews, but they are gods of their specific like titles. They're like areas. And she is very much this like hunting and killing. And so while she will try to be very nice, like you can only be who you is. Like you can only fight it for so long. And so you're going to have to do your best to resist just being utterly demolished by this goddess of the hunt.
Great, 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 great,
Right.
great. Um,
So
I want to say,
um, just as a so since Bodhi is currently in her part of her journey, and we're discussing that she's at the threshold.
Yep.
Bodhi is now going to use a psychopomp knack on Nolan.
What does that do?
This isn't everything you are. Given the psychopomp's connection to the quest and the Orphic journey, she may solemnize someone else's quest or journey. When the psychopomp seeks to help a subject break free from a rut or achieve something that has been different with his life. And quite frankly, going to the underworld is quite different than what Nolan's been doing, and as far as tedious day-to-day things.
That
So
is
this will
true.
only this knack has a maximum effect. For every action the subject takes that which represents a direct attempt to complete his quest, he receives a +1 enhancement, +2 if his actions represent a dramatic departure from his previous life.
Does
Um,
seem dramatic.
yeah. Well, it's I guess it depends on the situation. So any role that Nolan does while part on his journey into the underworld to find out what happened with Rachel
Mm-hmm.
would have a +1 enhancement if it's dramatic departure from what he would normally do, what would
Then you
normally
get
be
the plus
part of it,
two.
then it would be +2 instead of +1 enhancement.
Okay.
okay, so if that's the case. Um, 5 successes with the enhancement, I'm guessing. Uh, and 3 of them would be on the divine dice.
Here's the thing. Do you have anything you can do to up that? Because I'm looking at how many successes she got, even by like having her role as a demigod, and she like really wants to stab you. That's 8 successes.
8 successes. Do I have anything?
Like any like legend or something you can do.
Oh,
Because like you feel the dagger enter you, you're like, oh no, this is very different. I need to do something now.
Uncle of Overcoming Pain, invoking that legendary title.
Okay, okay. We'll see if that gives you two. Give me one more. Something. A spell, a marvel,
Hold
some
on.
dominion over something.
Oh, let's see, your words. Let me see. Oh, a living pillar.
Ooh, what's that do?
Um, Let me see because this is not just. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah. Um, would this also be considered environmental hazards as well? The extra.
Technically, no, but for the purposes of this, I will say yes.
Uh, okay. Because it's not okay. Um, some more finding. Where is? Yeah. Okay. Because I can either do that or I can do a fortress at the start of a combat scene. You roll knack with one enhancement.
Hmm. Yeah, that one has would bring you up to eight.
Yeah.
Um, so you can feel like at in the initial piercing, like there is some resistance as if she's trying to hold back. But the fun of being able to kill a demigod is too much and like, just like overtakes her. And she begins to stab not your like body but your soul. And you're like, oh no, like I'm not immortal. Like I can actually die. And if anyone's gonna do it, it's gonna be her. And so you like begin with all your might to like try and struggle against. And Bodhi, as you're there watching, you're very well aware of what's happening as Nolan is attempting simply to like live through this or like have his soul survive the death that is represented by the obsidian butterfly. After a short struggle, Nolan drops. And the obsidian butterfly drops like she's about to carve out your heart, and then's like,
I'm gonna yeah. Um, as Bodhi sees her about to go into this, I'm gonna call on the just the birthright connection,
mm-hmm,
and also the shared calling of lover instead of hunter, which is she's a little bit more known for,
yeah,
um, to not have her go in for the the, that kill.
right. So she drops down, and the dagger goes down to the, and then like as you're calling out, she like stops and fights off, and it's like, whew, I'm, I'm sorry, that was just, it's been a while.
Yeah, no. I mean, you don't get to do that very often, as much
Yeah,
as you know. I mean, and I get it. I get it. You know, I got that urge to hunt every once in a while and make sure that the um, the prey is killed. I there's no frozen corpse that sprouted ice wings as example of the last time that I did one of those. Um, Mine was a little bit more messy than this one was though.
ice wings, you say?
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah. You want to go check it? You want to go with me over? I mean, I can show you it.
I mean, if that's the result of a hunt, that sounds very interesting.
I mean, well, the ice wings came after I killed the. Never.
Well,
He thought he was a Scion, but he wasn't a Scion. What and he turned into a giant snake. Do you get anything from that?
she would definitely know, depending on this roll. Okay, this is much less impressive than the one before, but it's enough for her. It's like thought he was a scion. It sounds like a misguided avatar, honestly.
Okay.
Avatar of a god that just didn't know was an avatar of a god. And in this day and age, most likely thing, depending on like their abilities, is likely a scion, but some god was using this avatar and like having it do its bidding without actually letting him know what he was actually doing.
Oh, okay. Well, then there's a snake god that I might have pissed off somewhere.
Well, let me see this because she's also beast, correct?
She is also a beast.
Yeah, let me check out this snake god.
Yeah.
So you all are going there.
Hmm.
Nolan, in Hades, you drink of the river Styx and you become forgetful. You awaken on a frozen river Styx with no boatman anywhere near you.
He's definitely been here. Weirdly enough, we see Nolan now in like this weird winter gear, uh, gun on a holster, like fiery green gun at the holster, um, fur collared. He'd be like a air pilot or airman's jacket, with his flame sword symbol on the back. Just gonna look at the boat. Okay. Just test out the ice to see like if it's solid or not, or if it's like black
Pretty,
ice. Ice.
pretty solid.
He's just gonna take his time like walking across the ice. Like this is some bull.
Yeah, you are dead, but without the boatman or the river Styx, you did not go become a shade like many of anyone else who has died. But if you haven't done that, then depending on how long this has happened, no one else has done that either. So Hades is likely in some sort of turmoil as literally the structure of Hades is breaking down.
Awesome. Great. Fixing more family problems.
As you begin your walk, just as Bodhi Lee and the Obsidian Butterfly make their way to Scion Towers Island. And she
All
looks
right.
in and says, I don't think that's a snake god. In fact, that magic seems much more akin to blood magic than anything else.
Blood magic.
Blood magic, you can do a lot of things. Shapeshifting is just one of the many things you can do with blood magic. And of course, you have to have the affinity for the thing you're shapeshifting into. So whoever god this is, they likely have some connection with snakes. But if it's just an avatar, and likely an avatar that like didn't know he was an avatar, um, probably that's just like one very small aspect of whoever this god's power is. So maybe they're, connected with like all venomous creatures or, things that slither and also this like kind of bloody magic.
Cool, cool. But not anybody you recognize. So I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well. So, how you been, man? Well, we haven't really had a chance to catch up. What's going on with your life? You know?
Well, when are you coming to visit me? You all always bring me out here. When are you coming home? Everyone misses you.
You know, it's things have been busy. I barely had a chance to see mom, and I was down there for 9 months up here, but it was like 9 or 10 years down there, something like that. Just
She she's busy that one.
yeah, no, she does. She's certainly does her thing. Um, but yeah, no.
But the closer you get to a god, the less you need to like worry about these human notions of time and like what's a century when you live forever?
Yeah, I know. It's how do you like? So I mean, I know you weren't didn't come up the way that maybe I'm coming up. So that's it's the I know you got to put these things behind and kind of make that detachment, but it's kind of how that the journey I'm on is involved. It requires me to be involved. The past that I've seen before me.
That sounds unnecessarily painful, but I've seen others make it.
Yeah. Um, it, Sometimes I think it would be easier if I was following in others' footsteps and other footsteps in the path that's been laid out to me. Uh, if the path had been more in line with what you do, it might make the separation part be easier for me.
Like, oh, that's so sweet. Um, I think you need to. You're never really separated. In fact, you'll be more connected than you've ever been. You imagine being connected with all your followers and all the people at once. Like that's what you're really going to have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's
Um,
just a shift.
I guess there will be a point in time where I can do take action without actually feeling the need to interact, and I did some of that earlier. Um, it's still kind of new and getting used to that though. There's that hands-on approach. So sometimes it's just kind of maybe it's not necessary, but it certainly does seem to work.
I do enjoy the few times I interact with people hands-on. It is fun, but it's also a luxury that I can't afford very often.
Have you ever heard anything about any titans in this area? I've had something bigger to hunt.
Would like that idea. She does not like that idea. Um, so she will list off a slew of things to hunt. Some of them are titans, but none of them seem necessarily bigger. Um, which probably just means that like no one who she is directly connected with has prayed to hunt any titan worth hunting. However, for her, like it's not necessarily the size of the side of the quarry, although the side of the quarry does like make it more interesting, but
Mm-hmm.
like the act of hunting is so. But unfortunately, given that the highest I rolled was a 5 on like 12 dice, because I was like, she would know. I was like, God damn. Yeah.
So there might be theoretical targets, but nothing that she feels
Yeah.
worthwhile
She's
hunting.
like, you can hunt this thing, and there's like this polar bear that's, a thing you can hunt, but nothing that she is like super excited about.
All right. Well, uh, I'll kind of definitely keep that in mind.
Yeah, but if anything crosses my way, I'll let you know.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
I guess I need to get back and make sure that everyone back home is doing what they need to do. You be sure to stop by.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Um, I, I have a feeling that I have a new. I've tapped into something, trying something out, and we'll see if it works and see how that goes.
That sounds fun. Well, you definitely stop by and let me know because that sounds fun indeed.
All right.
So then she transformed into the butterfly as she does and just kind of flutters away.
All right. And um, to use another knack of Psychopomp, secondary messenger. The Psychopomp may make a knack skill roll to pass along a message via unconventional means. A bird tears a piece of newspaper to make its nest and drops them in the path of the intended recipient.
Hmm.
Newscaster reads on an announcement that they don't understand when the intended recipient happens to be actively watching. However, the message gets to the recipients. The Psychopomp's encoding makes it understood. The recipient simply knows the message is meant for them, who it comes from, and what it means. Sometimes you can't just in a text, you have to encode it in the patterns of leaves and blowing down the street. Bodhi's going to send a message to no one.
Hmm.
And let them know that she's on her way.
Okay. Nolan, you're walking down the frozen river because that's like really all you see. And you look down and you see the weirdest thing. There are fish like swimming underneath the frozen river. And because they're school of fish, they're like clumped together. And they start making letters. And as you read them, it's clear that Bodhi Lee is letting you know that she is, in fact, on her way.
Let's get to fish. Not important, but a lot good to know. Thank you, fish.
As you say that, you look down and you don't see any fish because, of course, there's no fish
Great. Okay.
in
Cool.
Hades. You
I
might be
hate
seeing
it.
things. Like, you've gone through a lot, just
Yeah. Okay. I hate it here so much. And he just keeps making his way downtown, walking fast. Holy shit!
hmm
There's a lot more ice now.
There is, in fact, a small scale blizzard. Yeah, we'll say small scale blizzard.
He is just going to keep walking through it because he's dealt with both Rachel and Nyx. He's
Hmm.
dealt with like the cold, the absence
Yes.
of heat itself. So like this is just like, oh, this is nipply. This is
Right.
delicious.
Bodhi Lee, how do you intend to enter Hades?
Psychopomp knack number 3 of the episode.
Hmm.
We are at Scion Towers,
Yes.
where there was a portal
Hmm.
to
Effectively everywhere.
effectively everywhere. And it's going to pull on the fact that both Blaine and Doug, um, where Blaine came was Scion of Caesar,
Hmm.
um, and one of the most common traveled places that they went to was Mount Olympus.
Yes.
The longest road a psychopomp made by making a mark on a door or wall made of multiple parts, brick walls, concrete walls don't count. Um, steps through the nearest road to the closest underworld. Um, so we're gonna open the door to Hades.
Okay. Nolan, as you continue walking, a door opens right in front of you.
Just gonna not question it, just gonna reach out for the doorknob and open it.
Bodhi Lee, as you're like opening this door to Hades, an actual physical door like opens up and a gust of like cold air blows in as snow kind of like escapes Hades. And you see Nolan on the other side.
Hey,
It's cold.
yeah. Need a jacket?
Apparently,
Oh, okay. We're
he
good. Yeah.
made one.
All right.
Yeah.
See, she'll step through and join Nolan and then on the trek through Hades.
Um, this is a very weird situation. Uh, the rules of the underworld are not there, but you do have a goal in mind. You are going to where Hades himself made his domain, even though you know he is not there, in the hopes of meeting Persephone, correct?
Yes.
So it takes some length of time. Once again, we don't know how long. Time is very much dilated or very different here, but eventually the blizzard somewhat dies down. And as you continue walking, you do see the Acropolis where Hades would be, with a couple like torches lit.
Walking. He's making like point, just going, huh. I expected it to be a little bit more active.
I mean, there is some activity, like at the front door, there is a large three-headed dog.
Can I pet him now?
Yeah.
All
Yes,
right.
yes, you can pet him. I'm going to do the same.
Here's the thing. It is a very large dog, and so like you can't reach like two heads at the same time, which means Nolan can pet one head, Bodhi can pet one head. That leaves a third head unpet, and that head is not happy that it's being left out.
Oh no! Wait.
I was like, hold on,
Hold
like I
on.
planned for this.
With become manifest, I can be big.
Yeah. With that extra size increase, all three
We got
heads can be.
we got all extra hands to pet the dog.
And with that, all three heads can be pet, and Cerberus is having the best day.
Look at you, you're just so cute.
And then you hear a voice from the distance. You come all the way to Hades, and you just pet Cerberus. I don't blame you. I do the same thing. And she goes and like scratches the belly.
It's Persephone.
Yeah.
Oh, hi. Sorry, didn't know where the doorbell was. Thought I saw
No,
the puppy.
it's very confusing for security reasons.
Yeah. Also, it's frozen out there, and there's a blizzard.
Yeah, I didn't know that until I like looked outside, and apparently things have progressed.
Worse than I thought, because if that's the case, and I'm here able to operate physically, I'm afraid of what's going on everywhere else.
So people can't die. Because we don't have a god of death nor a place for the dead to go. So I think if they do die, they're going somewhere. I they're going somewhere else, but like we don't have a place to receive them because. But we have bigger issues. You
Uh-oh.
called me and said you wanted to meet somebody.
Yeah.
Why in the name of Mount Olympus would you ever?
Maybe to enact some sort of peace instead of the the go-to family thing of like death, destruction, and like, oh my God, why are you starting an apocalypse over like a family dispute? Can't we just talk this out with a therapist or like a mediator?
And you think he's going to be the mediator?
Maybe not even, maybe to calm down. I don't. I didn't even know if he was actually real or not because it's kind of iffy the way Ares talks about him.
He's, look, he's real, but not in the way you think he's real.
Okay.
Look, I just need some reason, any reason to believe this will not make this work because I recognize that blizzard. That is not a cold blizzard. That is a lack of
Oh,
heat blizzard,
yeah.
which
And it
means you've already been talking with someone who you should not be talking to. Of
technically what happened was your husband decided to do a thing and got rid of something that belonged to her.
course, he fucking did.
Yeah. And then instead of sending her off back to her, he kind of had a ferryman send her somewhere else or completely
Explain.
destroy her. I don't know.
Well, the Fermat can't destroy, so that's probably not a thing. But we don't. Look, I just need some sort of rationale that giving you this key will not make things worse. Give me something, anything.
Well, we're kind of out of options as it's starting to apparate out into the natural world. So this place will be overrun with a bunch of other souls if
I
we don't
don't
do something now.
I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but if everyone on Earth dies, if one person survives, or if even images of us survives, that's not the end. When I say you can't make it worse, I mean like worse, worse. Trust me, we are not in a good space, but we can still survive. Humanity can recover eventually.
Well, do we have any other options?
Yes, we hide.
It's not part of the problem that for like the last few millennial, anytime there's been like a mess up, a family dispute or something, the option is to like all out war or completely abandon responsibility or hide. It's never like an actual confront the problem and fix it.
And look, I'm all for confronting. I've been saying we should confront things for millennia, but you don't go from not confronting things to confronting the end of the universe. You need to build your way up, right? Small steps, baby steps. This is not a baby step.
Well, apparently we skipped that step the moment like a primordial daughter of a primordial. Yeah, we'll just get rid of her. Yeah, like that completely got skipped.
She likes you. Give me a persuasion charisma roll.
Just two on divine dice.
Just two. In her hand, she is holding this key, like an old-fashioned key with the teeth. Um, and it looks like a maze kind of on the handle, for lack of a better word. And you can see that she's like seriously thinking of giving to you, but there is this deep-seated fear.
Okay, you're technically in control of spring and summer, correct?
Yes.
Your domain is slowly being encroached on by this lack of heat, by the absence of heat. That means that doesn't just affect you, that also affects your mother, who you will probably never see again if this keeps going on.
If anything of us survives, we can make it. And if we don't piss her off anymore, we might survive.
Like, it seems like in the bout of not pissing her off, we found new ways to piss her off and to treat her like a leper. Like we treated her like she's the problem child when really she's just misunderstood. Like she's lonely. She makes is trying to make iced tea because we met for the first time. Like she's lonely and no one goes to talk to her because they think, oh, she's just this entity. But really, I mean, yes, but also like, aren't we all really just entities at this point?
Suppose you are the only one trying to deal with things. Fine. Look, I absolutely will not give you this key. However, Cerberus needs deep down belly scritches, which I cannot do when I have a key in my hand. So I'm going to put this key down
Mhm.
and I'm going to scritch Cerberus's belly.
Okay.
And I trust that you will not take advantage that this key is on the ground.
Scout's honor, I will not pick it up with my hands off the ground.
Excellent. So I'm going to put this down and then I'm going to turn my back. And she turns her back and
Audie
begins to
grabs it.
scritch.
Yeah, yeah, basically just allow Bodhi to grab it and then
Yep.
like kind of yank it with the jacket and put it in his pocket.
Mm-hmm. And then after like 3 minutes, like being very sure, she turns around and says, "Oh no, the key has gone missing. I
Oh
bet the blizzard took it."
yeah. Miss Lee and I are gonna go look for the key and do nothing else.
That is a good idea. Um, and she like looks you over and looks at Miss Lee and says, "You're alive, Miss Lee,
Yeah,
correct?"
yeah.
And then she
Well,
looks, "Hmm?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you're alive.
I am alive. Nolan is not."
No.
She walks over and gives Nolan a nice big auntie hug.
Oh,
And part of being an auntie hug is that you feel, she's also the goddess of like death and spring, like you have been brought back to life, though uh, she has not taken you out of Hades. You are alive again.
oh,
It's like, well, I better go inside and start planning for whatever is
Yeah.
going to happen.
So,
he takes out something out of his pocket. It's like bath salts and like other things that you would put inside a bath to like
Yeah.
warm it up and like make it smell nice. And he hands it over.
Ooh, these are fun. Thank you, Nolan. You were saying, Miss Lee,
so yeah. So the ferryman isn't here, right?
I have not seen the ferryman. No.
So where would the ferryman go if he wasn't going to be here?
The ferryman has never not been with the ferry.
Okay. So the fact that the ferryman came up to find Rachel, found
Uh,
Rachel, and left with Rachel is all out of character for the ferryman.
yeah, the ferryman should is always with the ferry and is always on the river Styx. I've heard the ferryman can retrieve special souls if need be. And usually the river Styx and the ferry just go with him because this is a, you know, very something special enough that like we need to disrupt all of Hades in order to retrieve a soul. Uh, I'm not sure why the ferryman was used in this way, but I have a good understanding or a good belief of what happened if in fact it was her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, we may need to restructure Hades to exist without a ferryman or find it. I don't even know what that would entail.
All right. Well, yeah, Persephone, it was lovely meeting you. You're considering, all everything that's going on. You you're
I
keeping on
hope
well. You're
to
doing a good job. Yeah.
thank you. I hope to meet you again when there is less apocalypse happening.
Well, yeah, that'd be nice.
Well,
That's what we're good at. We're good at stopping pre-apocalypse.
I hope that's true, Nolan. I really do. And she turns around and walks away with her bath salts.
So, you want to solve an underworld murder mystery?
Isn't it the mysteries when it's the mystery is when there's a suspect and you go to the suspect's house and you talk to the suspect to get them to um, you know admit that or hint or put evidence on themselves, and then you take the suspect into custody. Um, I mean, we know where the suspect lives. We know how to get there. We can talk to her, but then what?
So, how this works is like normally there's an all-out war, or someone kills their lover and turns them into a tree or something. But I'm thinking, you know what? We're gonna buck tradition for one moment in time and actually hash it out and figure out the order of operations of how we got here in the first place. Because I feel like this has been in the works for, well, I feel like this Aphrodite set this all up to begin with and has been like making her moves, and we're just seeing the result of that.
All right. And we're here. We should stop and at least have some iced tea with Nick's, though, right?
Oh yeah, oh
Oh yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Right? And so, having met with Persephone, retrieved this mysterious key, learning the new state of Hades, and being like, well, I mean, like, we are here, and the iced tea is just waiting for us. The band has a new destination, that being Nyx's domain. However, given the time, East Coast, it is almost tomorrow, and so I think the journey to Nyx's domain will have to wait until next week. Thank you all for playing. This is always such a good time. Um, as always, let us end with our heroes. This time, let us start with Crow. Let us know who you are, who you played, and how is Nolan feeling right now?
Uh, I am Crow. I played Nolan, he, him. Um, Nolan is feeling oddly enough, uh, I don't, back in his groove, but he doesn't know why that is. And he's processing three different things he's heard in the last 72 hours and is pushing that aside because solving a murder mystery and having iced tea with Nyx and possibly stopping in the world is a lot easier than dealing with those other things.
It's been a long time since Nolan has been feeling Nolan.
Yeah.
We gotta put an end to that next week.
Oh no.
Of course not. Zach, if you would tell us who you are, who you played, and how is Bodhi feeling right now?
Um, I am Zachary Nowder, he, him. I am at zachrules.com on the BS site. That's my website. And other social media sites, you can go there. You can look for me. You're about as likely to find me as you are in Aries and Hades right now. Bodhi is um, kind of figuring things out and playing with some stuff, and um, she's liking this. Dealing with the psychopomp thing. It's kind of can certainly it's convenient, but she's not sure if it's a good long term fit for her.
Mhm.
So she's going to be exploring herself and what callings really appeal to her, and um, she's coming up with a plan. And is it whether that plan is to become um, what Blue Tara really does represent, and following in the path of her mother, or her is there a place for her to follow the path of her adopted aunt and give Tara a 22nd mantle? We'll find out. She'll find out. It'll be fun. It'll be interesting.
Growth of the divine, how the individual grows into this divine mantle, the fusion. This is why we love this game. So thank you all for playing. You all out there, thank you for joining us. It is always a blast. Hope you have a great week, and we will see you next Monday, where we will be returning to Nyx's domain. Until then, have a great one.
Also, if you'd like Scion,
Ooh,
Jumpstart or the Scion Wednesday. I put the link to Money Meeting Notes, but there's a new tasty bit, Scion Dragon. Check it out. Okay, bye.
yes. Bye, friends.